Alright, hit it, Vox. Hello, everyone. I'm Tiresias, and my mute companion over here is Vox Nihili. You may remember us as the iconic classical duo that graced the theatrum last year with our almost memorable show, Miserus. I don't know if anyone has realised, but the world seems a little bit upside down at the minute. Me and Vox were meant to be sunning ourselves in lovely Italy right now and having a bit of a reminisce about all the good old days. Me with a nice glass of hand-pressed Dionysian vino, and Vox with an Aperol Spritz. But the point is, in light of the recent plague, we're now stuck here on this wretched rock of a nation. And so we thought, what better possible use of your time than listening to us as we tell you a classic Greek myth. The subject of today's tale of tragedy? Echo, esteemed mountain nymph, and not so loyal servant to Hera, the mighty and powerful queen of Olympus, the goddess of all women, etc., etc. Now, it's not exactly a secret that her husband Zeus was the kind of bloke who'd wind up on the front page of The Sun, next to the headline, King of the Gods can't keep it under his toga, wild orgy in Crete. So she was keeping a careful eye on him. The problem was, Echo had a bit of a reputation for her silver tongue, that which we call the gift of the gab. Her wit and sharp conversation could excite even the most stalwart traffic warden, and so it was that Zeus asked her to keep Hera's nose out of his sordid business. Echo agreed, and for a while it worked. Every time Hera caught wind of Zeus taking himself off to the land of the mortals for a quickie, Echo would interrupt Hera with an anecdote or a bit of gossip, and suddenly the god of thunder would find the heat was off. But Hera was no fool, and before long she realised exactly what Echo was up to. As we all know, the Olympians love their irony, and so she took from Echo the voice that had so beguiled her, cursing her forever with a tongue that could only, well, echo. She was cast down from Olympus to the earth, where her eyes came to rest upon a man called Narcissus. Now, as you may know, I've been around, and it just so happens I'd actually met Narcissus in his youth. His mother, the nymph Liriope, wanted to know whether he'd lived to see an old age, and so asked me to search the fates for an answer. Never a good idea, by the way. I saw one, and I told her, if ever he knows himself, he shall surely die. I like to be cryptic like that, sort of in the job description when it comes to seers. Anyway, Narcissus grew up to be a hunter, and a strikingly handsome one at that. Unfortunately, so handsome and popular was he, that he couldn't help also being a bit of an ass. One day he was walking in the woods, and this was where he caught Echo's eye. Captivated by his lustrous locks, his striking jawline, his perfectly straight teeth, and his intense amber eyes, she fell deeply, instantly, in love. However, Echo was the shy sort, and for obvious reasons, she generally kept quiet. So she decided to communicate her affection, like so many, by stalking him. After a while, Narcissus cottoned on, probably hearing a twig snap or some rustling in the undergrowth with his perfectly proportioned ears. Either way, he was becoming increasingly aware that he was not as alone as he first thought he was. He shouted into the woods, handsomely, "Who's there?" Came the reply, "Who's there?" "It is I," said he. "It is I," said she. This carried on for quite a while. Eventually, after having enough of this back and forth, Echo plucked up the nerve to overcome her shyness and revealed her identity, stepping out in front of Narcissus to embrace him. Now, had this been a happier tale, Narcissus may have recognized her courage, betrayed by her trembling hands, and the loving embrace may have caused a spark between the two that would have made Prometheus jealous. The beginning of a love that made Hades a walk in the park. But, alas, Narcissus was having none of it. As she started towards him, arms outstretched, he handsomely recoiled and told her to bugger off, and ran away. Heartbroken, Echo spent the rest of her life moping around in lonely glens and writing bad poetry, until eventually nothing remained of her but her wandering voice. Such a pity. I know that Vox used to have a bit of a thing for her, but, well, he never heard anything back. Now, Nemesis, the goddess of revenge and roller coasters, saw all of this going down and thought that Narcissus was bang out of order, and so decided to punish him for his rudeness. One day, Narcissus was terribly thirsty after hunting. Nemesis reached out a divine hand and gave him a gentle push to a place in the forest where there shone a pool of water, crystalline and clear. Desperate to quench his thirst, he knelt before the water, but before he could drink, he spied a handsome devil staring back at him. His reflection. A cunning trick on the part of the Lady of Revenge. So pure was this pool, so exquisite the details reflected in its depths, he saw his own beauty and simply couldn't look away. The hours became days. The days became weeks. The weeks became... well, obviously Narcissus was dead before the weeks became months. Lost in the majesty of his own reflection, he wasted away to nothing. Well, not exactly to nothing. From his remains grew a flower of extraordinary beauty and great self-importance. That which we now call the Narcissus. And so ended the tale of Narcissus and Echo. This is normally the point where we reflect on the story and its morals, but clearly the message is about the danger of reflection. I'm still not sure why Echo fell for Narcissus. I never really saw that much in him. But then I can't see. Perhaps all he really needed was a good long look at himself. Just not that literally. I guess it's all about perspective, or something. Either way, thank you for listening. Stay safe, stay well, stay healthy, and we'll leave you with this thought. If there's one thing I know about ancient medicine, it's essential to have a good sense of humor.